Hello and welcome to the Outer East Football Netball Show brought to you by Gameface. I'm Aidan Miller and once again alongside me in the studio, Steph Barkas. Good afternoon, Steph.
Good afternoon, Aidan. Plenty going on as always, but this week we have prelims, we have semi-final deciders. There's just so much happening.
Plenty more action, only a couple more weeks to go in the Outer East season, but it just gets more and more exciting as we get closer to the pointy end.
Absolutely. Well, coming up in this episode, and we're at episode 20,
Yep.
Can you believe it? We have Around the Grounds where we bring you all the latest news from around our competition.
Plenty more interviews this week as well with Wandin's captain Patty Bruzzese in the footy, Warburton Millgrove's playing coach Carly Wappett, and also one of Healesville's young stars, Jeremy Newsome.
Aidan picks his match of the round. Obviously, the home and away season's over, but he picks what he thinks will be the most interesting final this weekend.
And we're going to continue on answering more of your questions through social media. First up, in Around the Grounds, our first medal night for Division 1 of women's football is this Monday night with Premier Division and Unders the Monday after. It won't be long before we know our competitions, BNF winners, teams of the year and more. If you miss out on an invite, you'll be able to stream both medal nights via our Facebook page or Stream Zone. Congratulations to Georgia Knight from Monbolt Juniors and Grace Bellany from Melinda Ferny Creek Juniors, who were not only selected to play in the 2024 Marsh AFL National Championships via their association with the Eastern Rangers, but were also selected in the Under-18 Girls All-Australian team.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's massive. And speaking of the Eastern Rangers girls, they kick off their finals campaign this weekend against the Northern Knights. So good luck to our Outer East Football Netball players representing the Rangers this weekend and for the rest of the final series should they continue on. So that would be Mackenzie Bourne and Grace Bellany from Melinda Ferny Creek, Briley Anderson from Healesville and Georgia Knight from Monbolt. Well, we obviously had a massive weekend of finals on the weekend just gone, and we got as many interviews as we could possibly get, because why wouldn't you? But first and foremost, Aidan had a chat to Wandin's captain, Patty Bruzzese.
Well, we're here today with Patty Bruzzese after a really good elimination final win against Mount Evelyn. Patty, really strong performance today. How'd you see it?
Tough. It was tough conditions. Kicking with a win, it's like a 5-6 goal win, but I feel like both teams defended the win decently well. We were just able to capitalise on our opportunities. So.
How did you go about playing with the win today? It looked like you went really well long, but just going against it, what were some of the plans there?
Just play the way we want to play and possess it. We want to be able to chip through, hit the little short 15-metre kicks and then work our way up the ground as we can. Yep. That's kind of the main game plan for us anyway. So it was just trying not to blaze away and control the footy pretty much.
We noticed plenty of positional changes for you guys this last couple of weeks, mate. We've seen Clint Johnson going to the ruck. We've seen Jordan Jaworski come up to the wing. We even saw Aaron Mallet playing the guts today as well. What's brought about some of those changes?
Just flipping it around, just seeing what works. We so obviously like to finish third. You haven't had a horrible year, but we didn't get Joel back because of his VFL commitments. Connor Smith obviously went elsewhere, so we have to try make things work as we can. And Nick's smart enough, and if he sees something and he likes it, he'll make it happen. So.
No, absolutely fair enough. You played Melinda Ferny Creek just last week, mate, and you're going to be playing them again next week. We just confirmed that was the win against Upway Tacoma. How do you see their game and what's some of the plans going into next week?
Pretty much the same as what we did last week. Big deck, which will suit us a lot. I think it's at Healesville, isn't it?
Yarra Glen next week.
Yarra Glen, yeah, even better. So, big deck. We'll look to take full advantage of that and get our game running smoothly next week. So,
most certainly. Patty, thank you very much for joining us today, mate, and good luck for the rest of the final series.
Thank you.
Second interview we had for the show was with Warburton Millgrove's playing coach in the A-grade netball, Carly Wappett. Had a chat to her about the season so far, coming into finals, and also how she pairs up with Bianca Daniels as goal shooter and goal attack. Well, we're here with Carly Wappett from Warburton Millgrove's A-grade side heading into their second semi-final against Healesville. Carly, how are you feeling coming into this game?
We're feeling pretty good. Obviously coming off a couple of weeks off, which is not overly ideal, but the girls are pretty excited to be here again, so it's, feeling excited.
Yep. 1-1 against Healesville so far this season. You had the win of round one and then they got you later on in the season. What do you think you did well in that round one game, and then what do you think maybe didn't quite go as well in the second game?
I think Healesville are a massive pressure team. They work really well and they thrive off the pressure they put on. They're incredible in their defensive efforts, and I think that we just couldn't settle back into our own game in that second game against them, whereas in the first we worked really well as a team. So the key for us today will be just working into the game and not getting caught up in their high pressure, really. So, yeah.
Yep. Pretty windy conditions here today. We had it yesterday as well. How do you try and handle the wind and the netball? It's certainly can be a bit of a problem at times. So how do you try and plan for that?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes to start it off. But yeah, I guess short and sharp, which is what we like to play anyway. No long bombs. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I think that you just change the way you play. Short and sharp is a good way to play in the wind. It's a good way to play whenever. So yeah.
You and Bianca Daniels have both had really good seasons in front of the goals. How do you work with her game to game? It seems like you kind of share the load week to week. How does that work?
Yeah, it's actually really nice. It's obviously not that normal for her to share it as much as we do. She's definitely my saviour. She's much more accurate than I am, so that's always good. But yeah, I think that we just communicate and we tell each other what to do, and yeah, we just work well as a team. I think the whole Warburton team we've got a really great culture, and the girls just love playing, which makes a massive difference. So yeah.
And coming off back-to-back flags the last 2 years, that giving you confidence that you can get the job done these last couple of weeks of the season?
I mean, it's finals, it's anyone's game. Ideally, yeah, but if we don't, we don't, and yeah, we're pretty happy with how our season's gone, and as long as we play the game that we want to play, we're pretty happy coming off whatever happens. But yeah, ideally, we'd love to win another flag, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Carly, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the final series.
Thank you very much.
And last but not least, we have an interview with Healesville's Jeremy Newsome after their win over Seville on the weekend.
Well, we're here with Jeremy Newsome from Healesville after a really important second semi-final win. Jeremy, through to the grand final, must be a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely great feeling. We prided ourselves all week and the week before to just 3 games just to get it 1 week at a time and win the first. And today obviously is a perfect. Resi's won today too, so we've got 2 teams straight through, so we're very happy about that. And hopefully Aidan's get through and we have 3 in the grand final, which will be very pleasing.
Yep, very good news for the club. Jeremy, pretty windy conditions today, and I think we knew that coming in. What were some of the plans to try and tackle the wind today?
We talked about when we went with the wind about which side we wanted to more dominate, what side we wanted to let them on. So with the wind, we wanted to more stay on this side because we thought it would be easier. We wanted to make them go to the farthest wing so we could defend it easier. And obviously with the wind, we wanted to just play hard, keep hitting it up. We don't want to just keep going long because they had a key back. We didn't want to just keep hitting them at full forward. So we just decided that we just keep hitting short, but then also when we had the chance to go long, get out the back and move forward, then against the wind, just short hit-ups and just slowly build it up and then hit into a launch pad about 90 out and then go long and hopefully score from there.
Last time you played Seville, you didn't get the win on that occasion. What do you think you change about today's performance to get that win?
I think it was our start. We started hard against the wind because last time they got the jump on us real early.
Yep.
So we just thought like just pride ourselves in the contest and our competitive nature, just to slow it down and let's not just let them get out on the outside because they like to bring it in and then get it out and then that's how they beat you. So we just pride ourselves on wings staying out, holding on to them, and then just competing hard for the first quarter, not letting them jump us like the usual. So,
yep. You looked really good in that third quarter, mate. You got out to a 26-point margin. Then they closed and got it level at three-quarter time. What was the messages from the coach that really inspired that 7-goal last quarter?
The message was just continue with our system. That it was just that we dropped away a little bit, thought that we'd won it and that we were starting to move over, and then just not to let the wind, just not think that the wind was going to get us over the line. That we actually had to work on, work off, body them in the contest, and just continue to look for a switch, even though it's windy. Let's just not go down the same lane and just continue to bomb it down the line and lose the footy. So we wanted to retain the footy, which is something I think we did really well in the last.
Yep. Saw a positional change or two. We saw Daniel Plozza move forward there, mate, as well, which we don't usually see. What sort of brought some of those on?
It was more matchup. The start of the quarter, he started back, and we wanted to see if they had another tall. Then he came off straight away because they had a small, and then we moved him forward. He can go both ways with his hands and his mark and his smarts. Obviously, he's been around for a long time, and I think he competed really well in the air. Took a few good clunks out wide, and he's just a veteran in the club.
Very experienced player. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us today, mate, and good luck for the grand final.
Thank you.
Well, with the home and away season over, we obviously don't have a specific match of the round, but Aidan, you're going to take us through what you think will be the finals match of the round for this weekend.
It was really tight, Steph, between Narre Warren and Woorollalek in the footy, and I also thought Narre Warren and Mount Evelyn in the A-grade netball in Premier Division. But I've just sided with the footy on this occasion. Narre Warren versus Woorollalek in the footy. Plenty of talking points. They played each other back in round 10. Both sides were undefeated going into that game, so it was massive. Mm-hmm. Narre won by 5 points after trailing at three-quarter time. They trailed by about 2 goals. So it was a big win for Narre. Some of the big matchups you're likely to see, I think Jacob Atchison probably got the job on Will Howe. Then down the other end, I reckon Hayden Johnson probably lines up on Taylor Gibson. In the centre, you're probably going to see Geordie Williams and Kurt Mutimer go head-to-head. And then also the 2 leading hit-out getters in the competition, Zach Monkhurst and Hayden Dwyer, going head-to-head in the ruck as well, so that's probably going to be the matchup for me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for that one. I'm really excited. And I think it's always good when you're going into a final and you're really not sure who's going to win. No
Exactly
idea.
right.
No idea.
No.
Okay, well, our last segment for the show this week is Ask Us Anything. We've picked one of the questions from you guys, one that I think is super interesting and that has a lot of talking points around it. India asked us, girls' games getting a prime time 2 p.m. slot next year. What do you reckon? Well, there's quite a lot of layers to this. Logistics is one that we already mentioned, but I don't think it's quite out of reach. I think there's a couple of possibilities there, and honestly, I'd love to see it. But there could be, you know, if the men are potentially playing away, the girls could play 2 p.m. at home.
Yep.
That could be one option. Or we could even think about maybe slotting the girls in between, where you have reserves, the girls play at 2 p.m, and then the senior men get a twilight match. Now, obviously, the logistics there is you need a venue with lights.
Which we do have, because the girls,
we do have a couple.
The girls do play some 4:45 games, which...
So that would just be choosing a particular ground that works for that scenario. But yeah, I don't think it's out of reach. I think I'd love to see it.
I think it definitely can be done, and I think it could be exciting to potentially venture into maybe seeing some senior footy played in that 4:45, maybe even a 7 o'clock time, sort of something like that potentially. You know, we've got some grounds that can facilitate it, not all grounds. So obviously, there's always the issues around that. But no, I think it's definitely something that is very doable for sure.
I think as well, and something we've discussed and that we want to look at in the off season too, is we have been filming one of the women's matches each week. But what we'd love to do if we can grow our commentary team for next season is try and start to commentate some of those games as well. And we obviously would love to see growth in our women's competition. So the ultimate being that every one of our clubs has a senior women's team. Now that may be a ways off, but we'd love to see some growth next year. And then if we can also have growth within our own team, which Aidan and I will work on in the off season, I think it would be great to be able to commentate a netball, a men's football and a women's football each week. So I feel like it's an area that probably has the most amount of growth for our competition at the moment. And I'm really excited to see how it goes for the next couple of seasons and what we can get out of it. So, but thanks for your question, India. I think it's a great one.
Well, that pretty much wraps up all there is to talk about in the Outer East this week. Remember, if there's anything you'd like to see in the show, leave a comment down below. Steph, thank you again for joining me in the studio.
No problems at all.
For all the viewers out there, don't forget to get your game face on.